Hi, and welcome to a new series that we're starting today. It's Billionaire Takeover, and the Billionaires taking over Red Star FC. They're 10th in the French National, so they're playing in the third tier, and they're being, of course, very rich. Reputation is national. They've got below average training facilities and basic youth facilities. And if we have a quick overview here, you can see here they won the French Cup 6 times, the last time in 1942, long time ago. The Domino's League 2, they won it in 1939, the French Division A in 1934, the French Division 2B in 74, and the French National has been won 2 times right now, 2015 and 2018. So let's try and get it back to us when it's in 2020. Club is founded in 1897, long time ago. Our nickname is l'Étoile Rouge, and we're playing right now at Stade Bauer. Stadium condition is very poor. It's below average training facilities, of course, we knew that. We have a capacity of 6,656. It was built in 1990, so almost 111 years ago. But for now, we are playing in Saint Ocean, if I'm correct, and it got a capacity of 20,000, so that's pretty good. Fierce rivals, of course, are Paris FC and hopefully one day Paris Saint Germain, and our other rivals are Racing CFF, and they are currently not loaded into the game, so that's okay. Finances, of course, rich. Owner status loves the club. Estimated value is 471 million, but the new owner took over and gave them 1 billion in the bank, and he decided that at the end of every third season they get another 500 million to play with. So it's going to be very interesting to see how they are going to do. The manager is Vincent Bordeaux. The captain is Fermos Mendy. Vice captain is Mathieu Fontaine. Key player is Louis Boy, who's a central midfielder. And if we have a quick overview of the players, you can see they have 4 players with over 500,000. The most important being Moussa Sow, who's a attacking midfielder on the right back. He can play as a striker as well. Then they've got Mehdi Shariri, who's a attacking midfielder on the left. He's on loan from Strasbourg, so he will return to them at the end of the season. They've got another central midfielder, Jimmy Roy, with 500 grand as well. However, he's already 30 years old. Moussa, already 29. Mehdi is a bit younger, 22. And then here, Kuku, defensive midfielder, with 500 grand, and he's 28. So it's going to be interesting to see how they're going to do, and how we're going to end up. Hot prospect is Said Arab, attacking midfielder with 230 grand. And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what they're going to do, what the transfers are going to be. So yeah, they haven't brought in anything yet, or anyone, fair to say. So yeah, let's go to the end of the season, see how they've been doing, and what transfers they made. So we're now at the end of the season. Finances are now secure. Reputation is still national, and the training facilities and youth facilities haven't been changed yet. Their estimated value, though, has declined with more than 300 million, which is a lot. They are playing, or they're renting a new stadium, the Stade Jean Bouin, got a capacity of 20,000. Same conditions are good. Was built in 1925, so that's okay. They've got a new hot prospect, a 14-year-old Anthony Bernard, an academy player. And yeah, valued at 12 grand, not too bad. They've got a new key player. Jimmy Roy has been overtaken by Said Arab. 19 years old now. He's currently unhappy because he wants a new contract. Valued at 525,000, meaning he's almost more than doubled his value. And the captain is still Ramos. And they've been playing a 4-3-3 with Charu on goal, Hamachi on the left, Lebor and Mendy in the center, Gujon on the right, Cuckoo as the defensive midfielder, Boy and Jimmy Roy as the two central midfielders, Charuri and Arab on the sides, with Moussa Sow in the center as the striker. And unfortunately, they've finished second on level with points with Lyon AS, but their goal difference wasn't that good, so that's why they finished second. Otherwise they would have won the league in their first season, which would have been absolutely amazing. But yeah, if we have a look at the transfers first, you can see here that they brought in 4 new players, which isn't a lot. They brought in Joe Kobo, 21-year-old central midfielder. That's one for the future. Ismaël Ndiaye, another 32-year-old defensive midfielder. Not sure why they've done that. Jean-Philippe Mendy, another 33-year-old striker. And they brought in Marvin Moreira, 20-year-old attacking midfielder on the right. That's one for the future as well. So they haven't let out a lot, no one actually. But yeah, they haven't spent money yet. Curious. They've had one transfer window to spend money, but we'll probably see at the beginning of next season a lot more. Let's have a look at the schedule then, how they do. They started with a win against Stade Lavrois, easy 1-0, and then they were beaten by Orleans in the Coupe de la Ligue first round, 3-0 wins against Béziers and Bourges and against Bourg and Brest, beaten by Toulon. They beat Ayacito, and then they were beaten by USBCO. Went on a little winning spree, beat Colette, Bastia Brogo, and Pau. They won in the French Cup 5th round. They got beaten by Villefranche, and then they went on and beat Dunkerque. They beat CO Le Uli in the French Cup, got beaten by Avranches in the National, beaten by QRM, beaten by US Cretel. They drew with Conquerot. They went on in penalties in the 7th round of the French Cup. They beat Arras easily with 3-0 in the 8th round. They beat Le Puy Foot 2-0 in the National, beat Brasiers, lost against Lyon AS, who ended up first of course, won on penalties against Metz in the 9th round before they were beaten in extra time by Conquerot. That one stinks. They beat Bourges and Brest, beat Toulon again, UBSO was beaten, Graz Ajaxido were drawn with, lost against Colette, beat Bastia Borgo, beat Pau, lost against Lyon again. That one really broke them. If they would have won that game, they would have been champions, or at least a draw, then it would have all been okay. Beat Villefranche, drew with Dunkerque. Yeah, they should have won that one, to be honest. They've got 2 red cards. Wasn't meant to be though. QRM were drawn with, and US Créteil Lusitanos were beaten, lost against Avranches, beat Conquerot, drew with Le Puy Foot, beat Stade La Valois, and that was it. Then you had the end of the season, and you can see here, if we go to team overview, they've scored 45 goals and conceded 33. Most goals were scored by Pau, 51 goals. That's not really impressive, is it? And Pau ended up in 5th place. But yeah, I think the Tycoon is going to want a little bit more from his team. Have they made any staff transfers? Well, a few guys came in. They've got a new chief scout, Regis Favreau, and they brought in an under-19s manager and a new scout in Manuel Amaros. So let's hope he can do something for them. He's not too good though. Yeah, let's go to the end of August, new season, and see what transfers they made. Here we are, and if we look at the starting 11, there's already changes that have been made. So at least they've done something on the transfer market. Mendy is out because they've got a new captain in Jimmy Roy. Key player is still Saïd Arab, who is now valued at 625. And they've still got the same hot prospect in Anthony Bernard. Their estimated value went up with 209 million. It's now 509 or 508, depending on where you look. Finances still rich. Nothing changed though. Tycoon didn't put any money in, as far as I know. Training facilities and youth facilities haven't changed yet. Still playing at the Stade Jean Bouin. I believe the old, if we have a look here, Stade Bauer is getting an expansion, and they move in next year. But for now, they've got new players, so let's have a look at the transfers and sort them by fee, I think. Nah, we're not doing that. Then when they were brought in, you can see here, first signing they made was Yacine Pellard, a striker, 17-year-old, brought in for 1.5 million. They went on, got in Felix, a central defender. He came over for 2.4 million from Amiens. Got in a free player, Jean Brian, another striker, 28-year-old, for 3. Brought Virgil for 600,000, another central defender. They got a free transfer in Axel Trezens, another striker / attacking midfielder. Valentin Ramigo from Bergo in Portugal. Got him on a free. Brought Francesco Antonucci, Belgian player. Got him for 425 from Monaco. While Flart, I believe is what it says. Yeah, got over from Rennes. Central midfielder. Got him on a free. DJ Traoré came over for 1.9 million from LA Galaxy, and he's a left defender, probably a wingback of some sort. They got Joris Sanati on a free, 31-year-old, played for Lorient. Adama Traoré for 325, 25-year-old attacking midfielder on the left. Good purchase, I think. Florian Sotoka, bought for 800 grand, can play as a striker and a attacking midfielder on the right. I think he will do good for them. Then here we've got Johan Demonsi, brought from Orleans for 90 grand. Brought Francois Bellejoux from Auxerre for 650, a defensive midfielder. And they brought in, as last but not least, Mikel Alphonse for 210 grand. 31-year-old can play as the defender on the right, but I suppose he's still got Gijon in the lead. And as we can see here, Traoré is already in the field. Same goes for Tesserine and Biken. Bellejoux is playing, Sokota is playing. So some made the cut for the first team, others didn't. Did they made any new stuff? Yeah, they've brought in a new scout, and the other one, Manuel Amoros, left, and they brought in Mafeta. He's not that good, let's be honest. But yeah, currently 20th. But let's see how they fare in the Domino's League 2. Will be interesting to see. Maybe they can win something this year, or maybe they will be relegated again. We'll see. And the season just ended, and we can already see they finished 16th in the league, just 3 points ahead of relegation zone, which is not too shabby for first year in the League 2. Captain still Jimmy Roy, but they've got a new key player in Fofana, and that must mean they've made some transfers. So let's have a look. And they sure did. They brought in actually quite a lot of players. Right, when we left, they brought in they had a busy transfer deadline. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players were brought in on the transfer deadline. So let's start off with the first one, Mohamed Bakayo, striker, playing for the second team, brought in for 850 grand. Julian Serrano from Monaco was brought in for 160 grand, a defensive or wing back, let's say just wing back on the right or left. Brought in Sergei Ninguizan on loan from Nancy, a central midfielder, not sure why. Brought Maxime Dupe from FC Nantes for 557 grand, a goalkeeper. They brought in Fofana from Monaco for 8 million, a defensive midfielder. And we've got here Mohamed Bangaroo for 2.6 million. Brought in another attacking midfielder on the right, was brought in for 2.6. Brought in Alpha Gamara from Angers for 625, defensive or central defender. And this one surprises me. Timothy Fusu Mensa, 7 million they paid for him. And he went straight into the first team apparently. Of course, well-known central defender / defender on the right. But 7 million, they spent a lot in as their first signing, because he was the first signing in 21. They brought in Kevin Zoe from Strasbourg for 600 grand, a 24-year-old striker. They brought in Timmy Tope from Toulouse for 3.8 million, an 18-year-old central defender. 8.5 million was paid for Marvin. Let's just keep it at Marvin, another central defender. And the last transfer was made on the 1st of February. Junior Zambia came over from Montpellier for 8. Wow, words are tough sometimes. 875 grand. They did sell a few players, as you can see here. Cuckoo was sold to Astra Guiu for 120 grand, and Seboy Koita was sold to Ashdod for 145 grand. And Matias Ferreira was let go on a free. So yeah, they did make some signings, and I think that did improve the team. Have a look at the schedule. Started out terrible. Loss against Paris FC, their fierce rivals. Then they lost against Grenoble, Châteauroux. They drew with Havre. They got beaten by Ajaccio. They beat Troyes and Orleans. They got beaten by Metz, Guingamp. Then they beat Lens. Got beaten by Faf FC. Got beat. Well, then they went on a little winning spree. They beat Cannes, Niort, Brest. They beat Stade Montois Football in the 7th round in the French Cup. They beat Lyon AS. They beat FC SM until they were beaten by Nancy 1-0. They won in the 8th round against Arlac. Got beaten in the league again against Clermont. Got beaten by Le Mans. Got beaten by Paris FC again. They got penalty in the 100th minute, so that one stinks. Losing on extra time against your fierce rivals, that one sucks. Got beaten by Grenoble, drew with Châteauroux, drew with Havre, drew with Ajaccio, drew with Troyes, beat only in that time, drew with Metz, drew with Guingamp, drew with Lens, beat VAFC, drew with Cannes, drew with lost against Niort, lost against Brest 3-1 massive, drew with Lyon AS. They beat FCSM, drew with Nancy, lost against Clermont, drew with Le Mans, and on the last day they drew against their fierce rivals. So their rivals beat them already 2 times, and they've drawn once. That one must be stingy. And also they moved into their old stadium, Stade Bauer. It now got a capacity of almost 10,000. Stadium conditions are good. Are they doing any other things that we can now see? Now they're still on basic and below average. Still got a national reputation, and their estimated value is now 890 million, which is really, really good. How are they doing for managers? Vincent still the manager. Good, good. Keep it up, Vincent. Keep it up. So not that much changed. The media prediction was that they finished 19th, so they finished 3 places above that, which is good. So yeah, that's it for now. We're gonna leave it here after the 2nd season, and next week a new video comes out, of course, and we start off with the 3rd season. And guys, if you've liked this video, please leave a like, hit the subscribe button. We're almost at 50. We're 5 subs away from 50. So hit that button and hit that like button because it really helps out. And I'll see you in the next one. See ya.